If it's been a while since you last got lucid, doing this one thing can really move the needle. I've noticed that for myself, for my clients, when we go through a lucid dreaming dry spell, the first instinct is to crank up the discipline, right? Like more intensity to the inductions, more state checks, more wake back to beds, more. I call this kind of motivation like the fire motivation. And it certainly has its place. Strong, committed intentionality is how we direct our practice. The problem is that for most of us, what we're really needing, what's really causing a lack of lucidity, isn't a lack of sort of intention and discipline. It's that most of us are just tired, exhausted even. And I don't mean physically from not enough sleep, because you're lucid dreamers, I know you'll take care of your sleep. I mean psychologically tired. We are all balancing, responsibilities, demands, commitments, relationships, so much of our waking state life, and doesn't it feel real, right? And with all of this, what happens is that our lucidity tanks get low. And if your lucidity tank is low, it's like trying to pump water out of a dry well. Doesn't matter how much discipline and fire you bring to it, you're really scraping an empty barrel. When we find ourselves in these moments, doing more can actually just dry us up further. And so I've actually found that in order to refill the lucidity tank, it's actually taking the approach of bringing in more joy, more pleasure, more rest, more awe back into our lives. And so here are 3 ways that I found that are really helpful for filling the lucidity tank up, so that when you are doing those practices and you are being disciplined, you actually have something to draw from and to bring into your dream practice. The first way is with inspiring input. These days, if you're not careful, you will end up absorbing so much nonsense and negativity. And so, first of all, make an active effort to swap out anything that you're absorbing or watching or consuming for something that actually inspires you. So instead of doom scrolling, get an app like Nibble where you're learning interesting things about history and science. Or if you're watching TV, choose a TV series that moves you, or a documentary series that kind of awakes your sense of curiosity and awe. Listen to music that fills up your soul, or to podcasts or stories that blow your mind. So it takes a little bit of discipline around making sure you're not just kind of vegging out and zonking out. But if you put the inspiring input in, it's going to help fill your lucidity tank. Number 2 is creative output. In our time and era, we tend to consume so much input. So creating time, even if just for 10 minutes, to expressively play like a child would. Not having to produce a masterpiece or be creatively productive, but to dance or sing or write or sculpt or paint, whatever it is that might bring you some joy, to actually create and send that energy out a little bit more. This is another beautiful way to get that kind of the pump flowing again and bringing in some juicy lucidity into your life. And even if you don't identify as a creative person, it's not about that. This is about taking the energy and giving it some way to express, bringing it back into your system. Dreaming, lucid dreaming, is a really powerfully creative act. So the more we do that, the more we kind of give it power when we go into our dreaming practices. And here, bonus points if you can connect whatever you're creating to your dream world itself. The third way to fill your lucidity tank, which I think is almost the most important, is simply to create space. Rest, go walk in nature, go be 100% present with one of your pets, something that is just space creating. I think our compulsive urge to fill every single second of our day with something productive, it really steals the chance for us to digest our lives, to be with our own minds, for our imaginations to flourish. And psychological constipation is a lucidity killer, I promise you. So breathe, lie down on the floor, feel your heartbeat, connect to the preciousness of this moment. The more you create space and bring presence into your waking state, the more that's going to fill up your lucidity tank and naturally flow over into your dreams. So if you've been struggling to get lucid, this is my official permission slip. Ease up a little on the lucid dreaming practices and go do the things that are going to fill up your lucidity tank. And if there's anything else that you think really refills the lucidity tank, let me know in the comments below.